Soft on China, tough on America.
Let's go.
That's the focus of tonight's angle.
Genetically modified cat girls.
So, as we were just talking about with JD, China's blanketing our country with fentanyl, killing tens of thousands of Americans every day, as it imprisons hundreds of thousands of Muslims in re-education camps. Then, of course, it jails dissidents and forces Christians to go underground. American CEOs keep quiet so they can keep getting rich there. JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon, Apple's Tim Cook, Delta Airlines, and...
Bro, there is not a single CEO that does not rely on, like, we rely on China for our supply chain. Like, you know, Deng made a bargain, okay? He made a gamble, the Dengus Gambit, okay? And he was right, and he won, okay? You can point to the U.S. oligarchs and be like, oh my God, these guys are working with China. Like, who isn't? Who isn't working with China in some way, shape, or form? There's not a single person that is on this planet. It's like saying, oh, you claim to hate China, but you're using, like, you know, at some point you're using Chinese manufacturing. It is as pervasive in every facet of our lives as capitalism is. And by the way, the direct reason why everything that you're using, or at least in some way, touches China is because of capitalism. That's what I mean when I say Deng was right.
Bastion, well, they all come to mind. But these same individuals, and many more like them, have had no problem condemning perceived inequities in our own country, especially in Republican states. Indeed, it's kind of an annual rite of spring that elites express their outrage and their moral indignation about something happening in a red state.
Dude, the funniest part about this is she's mad that, like, American citizens get upset, and American citizens with, like, a load of money get upset and actually try to do something in America, the country that they're literally a part of, but they're not doing enough to, like, fight against the Chinese state. When, like, Chinese billionaires that even speak out against the CCP's leadership just go, they're unalived. They just go bye-bye. They go missing for like a week, or sometimes in the case of Jack Ma for months. Okay? What the f do you mean? Like, what the hell are you talking about? Didn't do nothings. I can't wait for this dude to say some horrific racist. Okay, we'll wait for further takes from Didn't do nothings.
Last April,
I'm sure he'll enlighten us real quick.
Was the manufactured controversy about Georgia's then new election integrity law. CEOs expressed their disapproval.
I mean, why am I even keeping this? The dude's name is Didn't do nothings. Like, it's literally the N-word. Like, what am I doing? Just ban him. It's like incredibly racist name. Why did I even expect something to come from the dude with, like, the incredibly racist name?
Approval on social media. And the virtue signaling buffoons at Major League Baseball actually moved the All-Star game from Atlanta to Denver over the issue. Total swing and a miss. Of course, a year before that was the death of George Floyd, and the new mantra of the...
Bro, like, just say you want Chinese-style government, but, like, to abide by your wishes and your interests in America. That's it, because that's what you want. Like, and you know, some of us want that too, let's be real. Only when it comes to, like, you know, voluntary donations for national prosperity, you know, for Chinese prosperity. Voluntary donations is a very, very important fundamental role of the Chinese state apparatus. Okay, a big fan of that stuff. I mean, I'm a fan, dude. I'm a fan. You're like, hey, I'm the CEO of Goldman Sachs, and I think this is never mind, I'm in jail now. No, I didn't say involuntary. I said voluntary donations in the form of... Can you explain why his name is racist? Didn't do nothing, especially written like that, is 4chan making fun of black people, saying, you know, they didn't do anything when they're being arrested or shot by a cop. And didn't do nothings is just like a 4chan substitute for just the N-word. Like, they're saying that that's a black person. It's a justification for police murder of black people. It's super gross. Also, Doja Cat made a song like that back in the day. You know, we're not gonna... Yeah, it's making fun of AAV as well, but, like, kind of on the lighter end of the... I mean, the AAV aspect of it is also still gross. It's, like, literally saying black people don't know how to speak. But, you know, the other side of it, I think the justification of police murder is like the main reason. It's actually a weird 4chan made that term when they literally just use the N-word all the time anyway. Yeah, I know.
Liberal power players that American law enforcement was all systemically racist.
We have to rethink the nature of policing in America and reform our broken and racist criminal justice system.
The actions of the American people to...
What's a voluntary donation? It's when the Chinese state comes to you and says, oh, are you speaking out against like our actions in Hong Kong? Are you speaking out against like, I don't know, the Chinese Communist Party? Well, guess what? Give us $3 billion right now. Liquidate your assets and give me $3 billion. And then the CEO's like, wait, hold on. I'm only worth like $12 billion. They're like, yeah, I don't care. Liquidate your assets and give me $3 billion for the sake of Chinese prosperity. And the guy's like, whoa, hold on. What the fuck? Wait, oh, okay, never mind. I'm so sorry, sir. Here is $3 billion. That is what voluntary, voluntary donations for the sake of Chinese prosperity is. It's kind of like taxing people. I wish they did it more, and I wish they did it for everyone across the board rather than whenever like someone spoke out against the Chinese government. But, you know, they do take that money and then they go and build. Okay, so at least there's that. I joke when I say voluntary, but it is technically voluntary.
Speak out against that, specifically manifested in police brutality.
Finally declaring...
Yeah, building those summer camps. Yeah, dude, totally. The entire Chinese nation building project is just comprised of building re-education camps in Xinjiang. You really nailed that. All the high-speed rail actually just materialized on its own, dude. Adrian Zen's propaganda. Wait, nothing I said is propaganda, and I'm actually saying it's cool that they're doing that, and they should do it more. What the do you mean? Also, come on, bro. Stop saying it's Adrian Zen's propaganda. They did have re-education camps. What the do you mean? Like, Jesus Christ.
I mean both of those C words.
You can't have a single person be like, bro, really? Like, you can't deny it. Like, they did do it, okay? They did it. It no longer is an operation because they succeeded in, like, brutally suppressing any kind of separatist attitude that the Uyghur Muslims had in Xinjiang, okay? But don't act like it wasn't a real thing. As someone who studies modern China, don't know what you mean by volunteer billionaires pay a tax. I think what you mean is when China cracks down on tycoon celebrity tax evasion. Oh, they do that too. No, they do a lot of great stuff on that field. But what I was referencing specifically is when they feel like a billionaire oligarch is out of line, stepping out of line, they take some extra. They take a little extra off the top for some Chinese prosperity projects, which I think is cool. I'm a fan.
In one voice that yes, Black Lives Matter.
And now the fancy people are upset again, this time about Florida's legislation barring the teaching of gender identity and sexual propaganda to kindergartners through 3rd grade. They're also fuming over a Texas law.
How is it voluntary if they're being threatened? Dog, it's not voluntary. And I don't care. I'm not a ANCAP, okay? I don't believe that, like, all taxes are technically involuntary. Just because I like to pay taxes because I think it's, like, the right thing to do and it's patriotic doesn't mean that a lot of rich people don't. Okay? Do you like paying your taxes? No. It's technically involuntary. You'll go to jail if you don't pay your taxes and the government catches you. So, yeah, no, I think it's great. Yeah, of course it's not voluntary. That's why I say it's voluntary donations. Has to help. My dad wants to take my nukes. Excuse, he's sad.
Declaring a number of sex change procedures for children as abusive. 60 companies, including Google, Facebook, and Disney, have taken a bold public stand against Texas and Florida measures, claiming they are inhumane and discriminatory. Now, Disney's one of the largest employers in Florida. It first was silent on that parental rights and education bill, but they eventually caved to the demands of the liberal mob. Disney halted all political donations in Florida over the bill. And CEO Bob Chapek had to prostrate himself at the woke altar.
I called Governor DeSantis this morning to express our disappointment and concern that if legislation becomes law, it could be used to unfairly target gay, lesbian, non-binary, and transgender kids and families.
False. And what hypocrites. Disney does not care about minority rights or human rights, because if it did, they wouldn't be cozying up to one of the most repressive regimes on the planet, China. Projects there for Disney include the $5.5 billion spent developing Shanghai Disney, also their expansion of their smaller park in Hong Kong, and the launching of the mega TV channel, the Disney Channel in China, very important to them. Now, somehow Disney's deep pain and concern disappears when money is on the line. Or does Disney have an exception to its compassion meter when actual physical torture is involved? An activist shareholder named Paul Chesser called out Disney this
Activist shareholder.
week at its annual meeting.
Bro, how about you activate a fucking haircut, dude? Okay? I'm just saying, like, maybe you should activate your barber, okay? Alert the barbers. What is happening here, dude? Activist shareholder. What the fuck? Yo! I do love when these sick freaks at the Rupert Murdoch American Western Billionaire Suckfest turn around and actually shit on Disney and stuff, though. So it's cool. I mean, keep it coming, okay?
Saying, so while the rest of the corporate world is running away from the stigma of slavery, Disney is...
Where? Where is the rest of the corporate world running away from the stigma of slavery? It's constitutional, according to the current U.S. Supreme Court. The f do you mean? Also, it's literally legal. It's in our. It's the 13th Amendment dictates that we can do it and do continue doing it in our prison system. But also, like, literally child slavery is fine, too, as long as it's being done by a third party, dude. Where is the rest of the corporate world running away from the stigma of slavery, dude? If anything, they're running towards slavery. They're like, yo, slavery is so sick. U.S. Supreme Court rules for Nestle Cargill over slavery lawsuit. Accusing Cargill Inc. and a Nestle subsidiary of knowingly helping perpetuate slavery at the Ivory Coast cocoa farms, but sidestepped a broader ruling on the permissibility of suits accusing American companies of human rights violations abroad. China considers LGBTQ plus a filthy Western degeneracy and unbecoming of socialist cultural development, so Fox would love it there. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. They want China. They would love for China, okay? They would love to have a strong government like China. Ooh, the strong Chinese government can do whatever it wants in enforcing whatever kind of social norms and cultural values that they want to enforce and advocate for. The 8-1 ruling, authored by Justice Clarence Thomas, 8-1 ruling, by the way, reversed a lower court decision that allowed the lawsuit brought on behalf of former child slaves from Mali who worked at the farms filed against the companies in 2005 to proceed. We do not tolerate the use of child labor in our operations on our supply chains, and we are working every day to prevent it, the spokesperson said. Yeah, every day. They're working so hard. The left wants strong government overreach that can enforce their ideals as well. It's not strictly a conservative thing. Yeah, I mean, but I'm open about I admit it. Yeah. I mean, I've been literally praising the Chinese style of governance when it comes to dealing with billionaires for like the past 15 minutes. What did you think I was saying when I was doing that? I want a strong state when it comes to dealing with oligarchs and corporations, and I want a state as weak as a little baby, okay, when it comes to hurting people's civil liberties, or when it comes to attacking people's personal freedoms, okay? Unless it's like, crazy, weird pedophile shit, then, fuck it. Obviously, strong state again. But I wish that the American state wasn't a client to corporations, and rather the corporations were a client to the state. A state that ultimately cared more about the prosperity of its people rather than, improving people's profit margins. Yes. Strong state, dude. All eight of the Supreme Court justices go to jail. Like, that'd be sick. Imagine lifetime appointment. Well, sorry, you can't be a Supreme Court justice if you're in prison. Sorry, you're in prison now. Oops, now we have to bring in 8 Supreme Court justices. That's crazy. Throw everybody in jail. Fuck it. Just because there's one dissenting opinion doesn't mean, throw him in jail too. Fuck that. All of them. Why are we keeping any of them? They're hanging out. For collaborating with the other ones for all the other cases that they did not dissent on.
praising the local communists. Meanwhile, Disney executives say they will
I gotta
not produce
pee.
any new films in Russia due to Vladimir Putin's aggression against Ukraine. Since when do ESG principles mean you get to support genocidal regimes in Asia, but you must oppose colonial warmongering in Europe? Seems like cognitive dissonance to me. Well, Disney is also so in bed with China, it even rejected a proposal to conduct an annual evaluation of how human rights are impacted by its business dealings within foreign countries. Now, we all know what's going on here. They mouth these liberal platitudes to placate the wokesters, and activists left here and those at home, they feel good for a while. And then they fall over themselves to appease China in order to expand their market share. It's not just Disney, though. Many other Fortune 500 companies are guilty of this as well. They're bought and paid for. They're complicit, just like the Biden family. The White House, of course, came out vociferously against Florida's parental rights bill, lying about what it really is. Yet a few decades ago, Senator Biden actually agreed with that idea. So reporters circled back to Jen Psaki today on the Biden 180-degree evolution.
Why did he do that, and can you describe how his thinking has evolved over the years?
Well, I think that you have seen the president speak passionately about his view that a bill like this, a bill that would discriminate against families, against kids, put these kids in a position of not getting the support they need at a time where that's exactly what they need, is discriminatory. It's a form of bullying. It is horrific.
Yeah.
And the president has spoken to that.
She never described China like that. Objection. Witness refuses to answer the question.
Was there a reason he supported the same policy, though, in the 90s when we were all in school?
I think what's important to note here is how outspoken the president has been against discrimination, against kids, against members of the LGBTQI+ community, and what we're...
The conspiracy theorists are right again. They knew about the war in Ukraine. They knew all about the COVID bullcrap mandates. Wait, what do you mean they knew about the war in Ukraine?
18 months
Conspiracy
looking
theorists
like a
think that
silver fox.
Vladimir Putin is doing a special operation to kill pedophiles in Ukraine and like find the bio facilities, the bioweapons facilities, and also kill, again, like pedophiles and sex traffickers. What the f are you talking about? They knew all about the COVID bullcrap mandates. They also know about the coming Taiwan war, worldwide famine, collapse of the economy, and all fiat currencies. They also, oh, shush, Hassan's back. Don't say anything. Yeah. All of that.
We're looking at here is a bill that would propagate misinformed, hateful policies and impact children.
She will not answer the question. You know why? Because she can't. The Florida bill is eminently reasonable. In fact, I think it doesn't go far enough. Why should public schools be teaching children controversial sexual subjects at all? Why is it controversial at all to believe this? Well, the answer, it's not.
Well, you know, it's cool when you just add controversial into that conversation. It's like, yeah, when you say that, all of a sudden, you've guided everyone to think that what the schools are teaching children is bad and wrong. That's the problem. Why are schools allowed to teach children bad things and morally abhorrent wrong things at all? Why is this controversial to say? Like, yeah, I mean, when you said it like that, but what are they teaching? Like, you think it's controversial to like be gay? I don't understand.
Not.
Companies that have made a fortune off being family friendly and catering.
The only thing you were wrong about is what Putin was thinking. Why do people keep giving you shit for that unless they were actually not paying attention to what you were saying, or they're just mad that you're not in Putin's head, or just going along with whatever the State Department says? A bit of both. It's a bit of all of
families
those.
and young kids, you know, they should understand that parents of young kids do not want this injected into their kids' kindergarten classroom. They're going to criticize the fact that we don't want transgenderism in kindergarten and first grade classrooms. If that's the hill that they're going to die on, then how do they possibly explain lining their pockets with their relationship from the Communist Party of China?
Boom. It's politically very smart for Governor.
Boom. God, they want to. Every conservative woman wants to Ron Desantis, dude. It's crazy.
DeSantis to
They're
stand.
so fucking horny. There's like not a single dude that can sexually stimulate a conservative woman. That they're so desperate and so fucking horned up that they like get turned on by this dude that looks like a beaver, like a naked beaver. Wild. He's so hot.
Firm and to call out this moral posturing for what it is. These flaccid CEOs may cower at the radical's slightest complaints, but conservatives never should. If Democrats think these are such winning issues for them, I encourage them to run on them in November. Then they'll see just what American parents think about their moral duplicity. And that's the angle.
Of course, none of them are going to block teaching anything heterosexual and cis related. I mean, it's more so that like they are. Why do we teach kids controversial things in school? Like, just don't teach kids about the kinds of Second Amendment because not everyone agrees on it. Yeah, well, the American hegemonic attitude in that situation actually plays a significant advantage. The reason why they're able to get away with doing this sort of shit and saying this sort of shit is because they perfectly understand that like no one thinks heterosexual relationships are weird and out of place at schools or whatever. Everybody understands and recognizes that that's like the normative position, which is why they never have to be on the defensive or rather even educate people on that.
Hot.
That's the way they can get away with this. And the same attitude extends to not only straight relationships, gay relationships, but also literally like white supremacy. White supremacist attitudes are the norm, the normative position in a white supremacist country. Sorry for the crackles. It fixes itself in a little bit.